Namaskar. Good evening, dear devotees and friends. Today we will be discussing the Panchama Veda, Gospel of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and let us begin with this mantra as usual we do. Tavu kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhirilitam kalmashapaham Sravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhubi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. Now, the last Wednesday we were supposed to discuss about the journey from Nishtha to Prema. Is the path of bhakti. But as because that was the Ram Navami day, so I discussed about Sri Ramachandra and the devotion of the Mahavir Hanumanji. Today, let us continue that, the journey from the Nishtha to Prema. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, page 680, the chapter, the Star Theatre, Sri Ramakrishna at the Star Theatre. There he is mentioning Nishtha leads to bhakti. Bhakti, when mature, becomes bhava. Bhava, when concentrated, becomes mahabhava. And the last of all is prema. And here, one by one step he is giving, and we find that the 5 steps he is telling: Nishtha, then bhakti, bhava, mahabhava, finally prema. Friends, we have already discussed about this bhakti a few times. We have done Sri Ramakrishna many a times referring about the bhakti, the devotion, and here he is giving the steps. First is the Nishtha. What is this Nishtha? The Nishtha means, suppose I have accepted something, some philosophy, some ideology, and then I am sticking to that. Though I don't understand it, maybe I am not liking it in the beginning, but since I have decided to do it, I am doing it regularly, without fail. This is called Nishtha. That sincerity, and will never ever deviating from that particular routine. That's why when in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Arjuna is asking to Bhagavan Sri Krishna how it is possible to perform, then the Bhagavan is telling that you have to, about the control of the mind, the Bhagavan said, and that is the only answer. Bhagavan Sri Krishna said, you have to go on repeating. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. This abhyasa, then second line it comes, vairagyena cha grihate. If you like to control your mind, if you like to, and everything is control the mind. Again and again that I say that there is Jagat, there is this universe, there is this world, which is the creation of the Lord, and it is not real creation, it is the imagination. But when we go for that, thinking that that is the real, naturally we come back with the sorrow, with the failure, again and again. But it is so tempting, we always forget it. As the hyacinths are covering the water of the pond, and when we remove the hyacinths, we can see that beautiful water, very clean water. But after some time again, when you are not bathing over there, again those hyacinths comes and cover. So similarly, our mind is also covered with so many desires. Ichcha, vasana, all these words they use. Now, one after another, the desire will come and it will cover. So what is the sadhana? Only to keep away all those desires. The desire for the worldly things. How we can keep away those desires? Creating a desire for God. The mind cannot go without desire. It needs the desire. And instead of the desire for the world, if we give the desire for the God, then obviously it will go towards God. It will try to find God, understand God. But the difficulty is, in the beginning, it is not that tasty. As because we have not seen God, we have only heard about God. But we have to have the faith in the words of the great rishis, our gurus, and the scripture. And we have to say to our mind, no. As because these great souls, they have said like this, so obviously it is better that we put it, we should completely, as because we are constantly thinking of the worldly things, it is better that we say that no, we are not going to go for these. Why? Because again and again we have tried to get the joy out of this, and again we have failed. This is our experience. From that experience only we are applying this mind. So this is called Nishtha. The repeated try, that is Nishtha. But Nishtha, the beginning, even that effort won't come if we don't have faith. The first is the faith. That's why Shraddha. Swami Vivekananda again and again he said, Shraddhavanha, become Shraddhavan. And he gives the example of the Nachiketa. The Shraddhavan means, the example is the Nachiketa. He had the great faith on himself and also faith on the words of the scripture, the Guru. So faith on himself means that I can do it, I can achieve it, it is possible for me. Unless that basic thing is there, we won't be able to try again even. So we have to start with the faith. And then we should not give up the reason also. When we are giving up the reason, then that faith takes us to a very narrow, dark lane, where instead of becoming a spiritual person, we become devils. So that is the reason we have to be very, very careful. Sometimes some people will come and they will, according to their own, the way they will explain the scripture, and in the name of God, in the name of religion, they will ask you to do some work which cannot be religious work. So that intelligence should be there. And well, you are asking me to go and harm those people in the name of religion? But who is God? God is full of love. Who has created this universe? God has only created. Then as He has created me, He has created that person also. So why should I go and harm? That is the basic question, the first question. So bichara, always the discrimination is necessary. In the name of religion, no, I cannot do that. That's the first thing. Whoever says, even it says that suppose the Vedas say that the milk is black. As because the Veda says, shall we accept it? No. We have to go and analyze. No, it is not possible. Then the Swadharma is there. In my Swadharma, as because I am a Kshatriya and a soldier, I am supposed to protect the country and the people, then I have been asked to do this, go and fight. I will do that. For that, I am not thinking, oh, I am going to fight, maybe that I will kill people, maybe the scene will come. No. I am observing, doing, performing Swadharma. It's a very subtle thing. We have to understand this. So the bichara, the very sharp bichara is necessary. And that is why again and again we have to go to the holy company. Holy company can only help us to do this. Now first thing is this. First is I must go to a holy company, hear about God, listen about God, try to understand about God, and if I have the luck, then I will be guided by a real good person about God. As the Shankara says, the guru, the guide, spiritual guide, is because of the Lord's grace, God's grace, you get. This we begin. Then the guru says, in the morning and evening you should take the name of God. Then you should read the books like this. Then you should try to meditate, try to help others. All these processes. Here begins the Nishtha. The Sri Ramakrishna is telling about the Nishtha, but in other places he said, when someone was asking, said, is it possible for us, the householders, to realize God? Why not? How it is possible? Sadhu Sangha. Go to a holy person and listen from him. Then he said, Nirjana Vash. You have to live in a secluded place to analyze that word. Is it possible for me? Am I progressing? So like that. And then Bichara. Suppose I go for this, what I am going to get? What are the things that are going to happen? Sometimes some people come for religion only just because of the miracles. They think if I go and meditate, if I learn this, if I learn that, then the miraculous power will come, I will become like this, I will become like that. Nothing to do like in the spiritual life. The true spiritual life means love for God. So Sri Ramakrishna is guiding us. And then he says, Nishtha. First it's Shraddha, and we heard from the Guru, heard from the scripture, and then we have got the instructions that to develop the spiritual life, to go to God, you have to practice like this. From here, Nishtha. And steadfastly we are going on repeating that. When the Nishtha, Sri Ramakrishna's word, leads to bhakti. Now comes the bhakti. And about the bhakti, previously we have read many of the greats, the devotees, the scholars, the Shandilya, Narada, they have given the definitions. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is supporting Narada's way. What Narada says? Tad arpita akhila acharata. Tad vishmarane paramo vyakulata iti. That means that, to that God. And here whether the God is a mother or a male, no. It is that which is consciousness. But you can imagine the God as your mother, as your father, there is no problem. But you have to have the faith that His God is there. Then you are practicing. And repeated practice will make your mind pure. And what are the practices we are doing? Regularly taking the name of God. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he has already mentioned about here, Kaya Mano Vakya. And he explained even what is the Kaya physically. With the hands I am serving the God. Whatever the good work I am doing, any work that I am doing for the good of the humanity. Then, as because I have the leg, I am going to the holy places, visiting the temples, visiting the holy people, visiting those places where the good work is going on. Positive thoughts they are discussing, we go and listen. So, Kaya Mano Vakya. And in the mind, what do we do? Constantly going on repeating the name of God. And the Vakya, singing the name of God. So these are first he said, we have already read and discussed about that. Kaya Mana Vakya. So karma means three. Physical, then mental, psychological and through words. That is very important. So after that, we are going on practicing. From the practice, Nishtha, comes the bhakti. Bhakti means a faith has come. That is the beginning of the bhakti. Complete faith has come. And in that faith, because of the different experiences, and we can now analyze. I was just thinking that I should do like that, and then somehow things started going on in favor of me. Then I could do it. Just few days before it was not possible. Now it is. So the devotion is growing. Now God must be there. He is helping me. Otherwise, how these people are coming and helping me? Otherwise, how these people are so kind to me? And all those things that is happening all around me, how it is possible? Faith is coming. And on that, bhakti, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is telling, and according to the Narada, whatever I perform, I give it to God. Because God is there, first I offer Him, then only I take the food. I am going out for some work, I am first praying to God, then stepping out of the door. Like this all the time, feeling the presence of God with me. Tad arpita akhila acharata. And this is the way someone is practicing. Not that constantly he can see the God standing before him or her. No. But he is feeling that God, as because he is all pervading, and so many days, so many years, and so many difficult situations, I simply could come up and then moving. That means something is there which is helping me. I should continue. Then bhakti, the devotion is coming, faith is coming, love is coming, and whatever I am doing, I am offering to that God. And when I am offering to the God, can I claim that that is mine? No. I have written a beautiful article and I offered to God. People are praising about the article or the book, but I am not taking that credit. Because God gave me that idea. I just could express it, that's all. And God was holding my pain. I could write it. That humbleness is coming. It is said that when the Lord Krishna left, Arjuna, the great hero, who was so proud about his bow, could not lift it. When the Avira, a group of people, they were attacking the ladies of the Yadava clan, the Arjuna was supposed to protect them, but Arjuna could not do it. He could not lift his weapon. Why? Because the God was not there. If the God is not with us, it is impossible. So that is the reason one must be humble. So what is making the Narada, he said, Tad arpita akhila acharata. I am offering everything, whatever I do. How I do? Physically, mentally, and through my words. These are the three ways I am serving. All the time, these three. All three I am offering to God. What is then after that what happens? I become humble. I become humble. So that is the main thing in the devotion, that ego is going away. Tadarpita akhila acharata. And in exchange, what I am gaining? What are the positive things I am giving away? Then the positive, what I am gaining? Tad vishmarane paramo vyakulata iti. Tad, that God, when I forget that God, even for a second, I feel pangs within my heart. Oh, why I couldn't remember it? Why it is possible? So that is the way we should have to feel. So that says the bhakti. And when bhakti mature, it becomes bhava. Now we can understand. If the bhakti, with the sincere love and the faith and the feeling that God is always with me, and the feeling that whatever I am doing, everything because of the God, all the success that I am having because of the God, and my ego is going out me and lowering. So my mind is becoming pure. The moment the ego is gone, what happens? Revelation of the divinity within my heart. That's all. So that becomes bhava. When the bhava comes, then I see God everywhere. Without God, I cannot think of. Each and everything is God. Now, friends, those who have read the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, you know, he went to zoo garden and he saw that lion over there. The moment all people are looking at the lions, the big cages are there, lions are there. It is for the teaching, it is for the knowledge of the people. So what is lion, how they live, etc. We all go see that beast, that much. But what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna saw? He saw Mother Durga. Because the lion is the carrier of Goddess Durga. The seeing that beast, seeing that animal, seeing the lion, immediately the mind is going to Goddess Durga. This is because of the bhava. Completely everywhere. One European boy, he was standing, leaning against a tree, and he was putting the leg in the such a way as we always see the image of the Lord Krishna playing the flute and standing in that way. And three different parts of the body is bending. So it says in Sanskrit, Tribhanga Murari. Murari means the Krishna. Tribhanga in three different places. Why? Because he has become so soft. Why so soft? Because devotion. So that is the symbol of devotion. One European boy, he was playing over there in Calcutta Park, and suddenly Sri Ramakrishna noticed that boy, he is leaning against the tree and standing in the way that the Krishna's image are. Immediately, he didn't see that European boy again. He saw Krishna over there. This is the bhava. And he could see that true person. Sometimes some people used to curve externally, they are so religious type. But Sri Ramakrishna couldn't even touch them or accept anything touched by them. Why? Hypocrisy. They are not thinking of God. They are very egoistic. Only they are demonstrating in such a way, having the marks and the putting the cover and all that, as if to demonstrate that I am a holy person, people will respect them. But Sri Ramakrishna's eyes, they immediately could extray that and feel. They will never. So that is called bhava. Bhava gives us that. So first is nishtha, nishtha to bhakti, bhakti to bhava. Bhava, when concentrated, becomes mahabhava. And in this mahabhava, we can imagine the bhava. And mahabhava, when the word maha, the supreme has been added with this word bhava, that means every moment of his life, he sees only God and nothing else. Then comes Prema. Prema is the ultimate. Now we read from the Gospel in the words of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. The last of all is Prema. Prema is like a cord. By Prema, God is bound to the devotee. He can no longer run away. Now he says, an ordinary person can at best achieve bhava. None but the Ishvara Koti attains Mahabhava and Prema. Chaitanya Dev attained them. The Mahabhava and Prema. What is the Prema? When he or she, the devotee, forgets the body consciousness. They always think about that I am that God. It is like if you, as because we are discussing from the path of bhakti, if the path of jnana, they'll say aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi is the prema or mahabhava condition of the devotion. So as the path of knowledge takes us to that height where we can say that aham brahmasmi, I am that supreme Brahman, all pervading consciousness, and he cannot think of anything else but that. The Mahabhava, that great devotion, also takes us to that and cannot think of anything else. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is talking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was almost like 500, 600 years before Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And what happened to him? Mahabhava, he could not differentiate the ocean and the Krishna. And even the ocean was nothing but the Krishna for him. He used to go to Jagannath temple in Puri, and there, when he used to look at that Mahaprabhu, Jagannath Mahaprabhu, that image is there, hundreds of people are looking at that image. But the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that he and the God are one. That's why he never went close to that. The one day he entered into the temple and merged into that. He passed away. So that is Mahabhava. How an ordinary person can have that? We are going on cleaning our mind, we are removing all our past karmas, and we are trying to think about God constantly. All the process making our mind pure, and purity means giving away the world, accepting the God. That's all. So when we are going on practicing that, ultimately we can reach up to, or a great soul can reach up to the bhava. So when he sees the God everywhere, he feels God presence everywhere, up to that. But the Mahabhava and Prema, it is impossible. That's why for the Prema, they always talk about the Radha. Some people, they say, the researchers, they say that Radha was not there. There was no mention about the Radha, only in one place it is there. So it says the Radha, conception of Radha, it is the introduction by the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Why? Because of the Prema. The conception of the Prema, which manifested in the personality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so they depicted that a lady, as if so much of love for Krishna, she is forgetting everything, even the society, even her personal life, even her personal body. She is forgetting and constantly seeing that God everywhere. And then they gave the story. In the beginning, she was trying to remember, trying to pray to God. Sometimes she was having her own ego, that the God is not looking at me, talking with me. I will also not talk to him. All those things were going on, and then slowly developed up to Mahabhava and Prema, and she completely converted into the Krishna. So these are all the examples they wanted to present before us, and as because it is the love, so as a lady. But sometimes the conjugal love, they are applying like that. It's not like, it is the pure devotion for the consciousness. And when you feel that consciousness everywhere, and you are making a personified thing, so Krishna, that is the consciousness, who is everywhere. If you are reading the Bhagavata and other places, the Sri Krishna is having the company of thousands of the gopinis. The Gopa and Gopinis, all the residents of that blessed Vrindavan, the Krishna is with each and everyone. Whoever went to Krishna, Krishna is with them. So they are thinking that Krishna is with me. Each an individual, like when you are meditating, suppose hundreds of hours are meditating in one place, each and everyone, suppose at the same time feeling that God is present in my heart, no harm. Because God is all-pervading. It is not one God. God can be in millions of hearts at a time. And if you think that God is with me only, God cannot go to you, oh, that is a very, very narrow way, and he has no idea about God. And sometimes some people, not understanding this conception of God, who is all-pervading, who is present in everywhere, they try to keep the God as their own personal thing. My God. A God cannot be shared with others. And no one can take that God from me. No, God cannot live with them. And that really happened if you read the biography of Sri Ramakrishna. There was a person who used to serve Sri Ramakrishna, and then slowly he developed the ego that I am serving Sri Ramakrishna, and so many people are coming and worshipping him because I am taking care of him. So he also wanted the same type of attentions from the other devotees, and he grew up that ego. Then ultimately he was removed from there. And the Sri Ramakrishna, who used to depend on him because of his service, people thought if he is going away from here, what will happen to Sri Ramakrishna? Nothing. Some other people came and they started helping and serving. That person, he was so close to Sri Ramakrishna. These are the teachings. He used to come at the gate of the Dakshineshwar, but was not permitted to enter into the campus of the Dakshineshwar. And he used to send words with a prayer to Sri Ramakrishna. Can you please come out? I'd just like to have darshan. Sri Ramakrishna went, talked with him and said, this is important. He was there 24 hours with him. Now he went, saw and said, I am busy today, come some other day. Exactly that happens. If you like to grab the God, it is only our God and we are not going to allow anybody to enter into his temple, do you think the God will be happy? Exactly opposite. He will never get the blessings of God. Whoever is coming, it may be his devotee, maybe not. Maybe of you the same religion, maybe not. It doesn't matter at all. God is residing in every heart. That is the teaching. When they reach into that is the idea that comes. Bhava everywhere. Ultimately, finally, the Radha, she felt the God is everywhere. And all the jealousies, that all gone. Only the love flowed. And she was also feeling that I am also with God in different forms. The God is with him, God is with her, God is with this, God is with that. I am that. All the form that is playing with the God, I am that. That is called Aham Brahmasmi stage. When those people, they reach over there, they feel like that. So, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, yogi will say, this is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, one with God. And the Jnani will say, this is the Brahma Jnana. Bhakta will say, this is the Prema. So what is Prema? Mahabhava. This is the Prema. This is the Mahabhava. How it is possible? You have to be Sattva Guni first. And what is the Sattva Guni? The Sattva is the best quality. The love and unselfishness. We can explain the Sattva with these two words, two qualities. One is love, another is unselfishness. That's why Swami Vivekananda, and I quote again and again, Unselfishness is God. Those who are discussing about the religion, trying to practice about the religion, these are the things we must understand. These two qualities we must have to have. Love for each and every one, without any reservation. And at the same time, unselfishness. Time will come. We are now slowly practicing, and time will come that we can embrace each and every one. And that is called Sattva Guna. The color of the Sattva Guna is white. That's why the very fair complex, who is Radha? Very fair complex. And what is Krishna? The dark complexion. What is the Krishna is dark complexion? Is he not having the Sattva quality? No. Of course he is there. Sattva is there. He is beyond Sattva Rajatama, and he is unknown. The people cannot know him, that's why that. So these are all symbolic way the Hindus are trying to give the profound philosophy. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said one can go up to that, and he mentioned Chaitanya Deva attained them. Mahabhava and Prema. So friends, we are now a journey that we are in the form of Nishtha. Let us begin with Nishtha. And our goal is to reach to that bhava. Then maybe if we are blessed by that God, someday Mahabhava and Prema will also come. So Nishtha, Bhakti, Bhava, Mahabhava and the Prema. I will conclude this particular discussion by that one incident that happened when Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna asked Ma Saradamani Devi, you should not give my food plate to anyone, because different people with the different mentality they are coming, their touch thing I cannot accept. You know that incident. And the lady who wanted to, Mother Saradamani Devi, she was bringing that plate, and suddenly that lady came, almost snatched from Mother's hand, and brought that plate and placed before Sri Ramakrishna for his lunch. Sri Ramakrishna sat over there, couldn't eat. And the mother came, Ma Saradamani Devi, as because the warm place, she was fanning a little so that the person who is eating can feel little comfortable. And mother was doing that. Sri Ramakrishna told, you know that lady, and why you have given the food to her? Mother told two sentences. This is important. If anybody call me as mother, I cannot say no to him or her. Just call me as mother. The Mother's Day is coming. So this is the word Ma Saradamani Devi said. And what is this mother? Compassion. What is this mother? All covering compassion, love. So that is mother's heart. Only my children should survive, my children should eat, and nobody is not. That is not the mother's heart. So this is the mother. So she said, I cannot say no to them who will call me as mother. So that lady came and wanted the plate to carry for you. She called me mother, so I gave. Next day even, again if she is coming and doing the same thing, I will again give it to you, to her, to bring it to you. Then she said, you have to eat it. Why? This is the great word she said. Any wife would be very happy if the husband is telling, you should only bring the food, no other one should bring, and you should take care of me. I am not going to take the help of anyone. All the wives will be very happy if they can do like that with their husbands. But the mother said, you are not an ordinary person, sir. Though you are my husband, well, I have the opportunity and the right to serve you. But you are God. And as because you are the God, you are all pervading, you have to accept each and every one. And whoever comes before you with a great love and devotion and faith, with an intention to serve you, obviously I will also accept that. That is called Prema. The Prema, there is no difference. So friends, this is a great discussion, a journey from Nishtha to Prema. And in between, to reach from Nishtha to Prema, we are covering Bhakti, Bhava, Mahabhava. Then we are going to Prema. Let us pray that someday we will develop that Prema Bhakti for the God. Now Sri Ramakrishna is telling, what is the meaning of Jnana Yoga? So this is the notice, this is Hinduism. The uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna, he is guiding through all the four paths. Sometimes most of the teachers, most of the holy masters, what they did, only one path they showed. Then devotion, only devotion. Jnana, only jnana. But here, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is accepting all the four paths. So he is the God of Samannaya, Samannaya Devata, the unification of all different paths, all different ideas, but taking to the one goal only, that is God, who is all-pervading consciousness. He is telling like this, what is the meaning of Jnana Yoga? Bhakti Yoga he was discussing. Yoga means union. Union with God, union with the Atman, union with the consciousness, Brahman. So here he says, what is Jnana Yoga? It's the path by which a man can realize the true nature of his own self. Here the S is capital. Here the self means the Paramatma. Now through the Prema, where we reached? To God. And who is this God? Is he separate than me? No. I don't feel that, because everything, including me, I see that is God. And what the Jnani means those who are following the path of knowledge. What is their experience? Self. What is this self? The Paramatma. That is the consciousness that is residing within me as the Jivatma, as an individual self, and that is also the Supreme Self, Paramatma. It is the path by which a man can realize the true nature of his own self. It is the awareness that Brahman alone is his true nature. Then he said, Prahlada sometimes was aware of his identity with Brahman. Prahlada was a great devotee. He is a character that we find in the Bhagavata. The Prahlada, though his father was not at all accepting the God, but his son, the man who never accepted God, rather denounced the existence of God, his son got that devotion. He became the Prahlada, a great devotee. He many a times used to feel that he is Brahman. Why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is certainly mentioning this? Because we should not think that there are two different paths. Still now, we are fighting among the Hindus. No, they are all Jnana Yogis, we don't visit them. So we are only Bhakti, our devotion will be, if we are going and mixing with them and listening to them. And so sometimes I have heard those who are following the path of devotion, they ask their disciples, their students, not to listen to the talk of the Jnana Yogis. Why? Now your bhakti will be harmed. It's a wrong conception. Through this path you will reach to God, and where you will see you and God are same. Through that path they will go to the ultimate and they will find not God but the self is the same. Only terminology changes. But the thing is the same. Here, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, again the unique. Friends, you know, many of you, those who are knowing me, I have a great dream and I am constantly praying to the Divine Lord, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and His Shakti, the power Ma Sharadamani Devi, that let this come up successfully. That is home of harmony. Is the home. The people should know. Swami Vivekananda came here in Chicago, standing over here, he gave the call of unity and not destroying the diversity. Unity doesn't mean that it should be mixed together and make a khichdi. No, not like that. It is only each and every individual will be separate. And their ideologies, their philosophies, their paths, all will be different. And let them enjoy that. But ultimately when they go to that summit, there they will find the same thing. Some people are eating bread. Some people are eating rice. Some people are eating only vegetables. But the goal is to satisfy their hunger. Taste may be different. Cooking may be different. The people who are serving may be different. The places where they are sitting and eating, that may be different. But what is the ultimate goal? Satisfaction of my hunger. If by eating rice I am still hungry, that means that is not the proper food for me. Something wrong. So that is the, ultimately we are coming to that. And what is that God? Again and again we have to remember, L-O-V-E is God. Whatever the religion paths that we are following, it is a high time now in these modern societies when we are debating on so many things and we know so many things. We have to understand, and we have to not only understand, we have to teach our next generations that it is love that is God. You may call that God as Jehovah or Buddha or whatever name you like, but it is only love. And that love that reaches everywhere embraces each and every one. So Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was talking about the bhakti. Just next para, he is talking about the jnana, and he is taking us to that ultimate goal of the jnana. He says it is Brahman. Prahlada, a devotee, sometimes were aware of his identity with Brahman. And sometimes he would see that God was one and he another. So this is the devotion and the jnana coming together. And it is possible for one person also to understand and realize and enjoy the two different things. At such time, he would remain in the mood of bhakti. Hanumana said to Rama, "Sometimes I find that you are the whole and I am part. Sometimes that you are the master and I am your servant. But O Rama, when I have the knowledge of reality, I see that you are I and I am you." That this is a great sloka that Hanumana said, and this is true Hinduism. There is no difference. So friends, I have a dream that in that home of harmony, we will invite the different groups of the Hindus and we will ask how you think, how you look at God. Sit side by side, please tell, what is God you think? What are the practices you are doing, performing, so that you can reach to that ultimate goal? If we sit together and say our goal and the practices, I am sure we will understand actually we are going to the same goal. Somebody is going by train, somebody by a car, somebody by some other vehicle. But we are going over there to the same goal. And then in the name of religion, bloodshed will be lessened. I cannot say completely stop, will lessen. Because this is the teaching of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, unification. The more the people will read the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, will read and try to understand his teaching through the Panchama Veda, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the more it is better for the human society. And he says that Girish, he was listening, he claimed, he was satisfied listening to this. The master is telling, why shouldn't a man be able to realize God in the world? Why? He is asking, Sri Ramakrishna is asking. Why shouldn't a man be able to realize God in the world? But he must have discrimination and dispassion. He must have vichara and vairagya. The vairagya and vichara. What is vairagya? Vishaye virag, ishare anurag. It is not only giving up the world, but at the same time you have to accept the God. And why should I do that? When I am debating within myself, and that is called discrimination. I am judging, I am debating, I am trying to analyze, I am trying to understand, why should I not go and grab that power, that money, the name, the fame? Why not? That is called discrimination. Suppose I get that, for how long? Where is that great Napoleon? In the page of the history, that's all. And for that should I give my life? So many times I was born. So many times I will born again if I am not realizing this one truth. And so many times, so many different forms I will take, and so many times I will suffer. So that it is, we have to understand again and again. Why shouldn't a man be able to realize God in the world? But he must have discrimination and dispassion. He must have the unshakable awareness that God alone is real and all else is unreal, and has but a 2 days existence. It will not do to float on the surface. You must dive deep. You must dive deep. Thank you, friends. So today, up to this, and then again, in some other day, in the next Wednesday, we'll discuss from here. Let us conclude by saying this prayer, our pranam to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. He asked us to dive deep. So when we are listening these words, reading these words, pondering on his teachings, and then our mind should be withdrawn from the world and go down to the God, which is consciousness. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.